Okay, so welcome to the last session of this employee counseling, and here we are going to discuss about another issue that is known as wellness program. So, as a part of the counseling services, organizations also conducts lot of wellness program for the employees, so that they are able to take care of themselves physically and mentally both, and it is going to help them to improve their performance. So, the idea of a wellness program is that you are going to conduct some activity, okay, which is going to help the individual. So, what we are going to discuss now is that what kind of wellness programs can be conducted as a part of counseling services, right, which is going to help the people. So, as a part of the wellness program, basically the idea is to promote the health of the individual, both the physical health as well as the mental health of the individual. Now, wellness means more than absence of the illness, right. It does not mean that you are not well physically or mentally. The idea is to improve upon what you are. Okay. So, that would create a sense of what you call well-being, okay. Feel better, feel good kind of things. So, wellness is more than the absence of disease. It does not mean that you have a stress, and that there need to be some assessment and diagnosis to find out what is the reason, and then go for those. So, that is a different kind of approach that you are adopting in managing stress and other kind of things. Now, when it comes to wellness programs, the idea is to improve your quality of life, improve your well-being, improve your happiness. So, the approach here is entirely different. So, you are moving with a more positive approach to see that people are happy and satisfied. So, it does not mean that they have certain problems and that needs to be cured and looked into to solve them, right. The idea here is that you need to promote good health, good happiness. So, the idea is to promote health and happiness among the individual, and that is why organizations are sponsoring these kind of wellness and health promotion activities in the to help the people to have that feel good factor of what you call happiness and satisfaction at the workplace, right. So, it is not only that it is going to help you to promote certain things related to your physical fitness and other non-stress issues, because if you are obese or if you are smoking, it is not going to affect your performance, because it becomes your habit. I mean, if you are overeat, if you smoker, so it not necessarily that it is going to affect your health. It is going to definitely affect your physical health, but you have to see that what kind of things that need to be done in order to promote good health among the people, right. Now, if you look at some of these habits related to obesity, smoking, substance use and all kind of things, you will find that people know that it is not good, but still they continue. So, you need to change their attitude and behavior in such a way, so that you are able to promote wellness among the people, right. So, the idea is to not only promote physical health, but also mental health, okay, so that people are physically fit, because if you are obese, if you are smoke, probably it is going to affect your performance, and you are not able to perform as per the expectations. So, the idea is to make people aware, to tell them that okay, you may have these kind of problems and you need to take care of them, and we are going to help you to see that how you can help yourself to get rid of these kind of problems. Any kind of problems which is going to affect your health, and indirectly or directly it is going to help the individual to ensure that it leads to better performance on their part. Now, since the health cost is rising every day, okay, so one motive that organizations have for going these kind of things is to control their health care costs. Okay. Even as an individual, you have to see that if you are suffering by certain problems, you need to spend lot of money, and if you have taken insurance, your premiums might go up. So, you need to ensure that you are not going to suffer with these kind of problems, because if you suffer from these kind of problems, your charges for the premium may be very high. Okay. Or even if you are going to face certain problems, you are going to spend lot of money on that. So, the health care cost is increasing, insurance premiums are going up. So, you need to improve your health, your general health, that is very, very important, and then you need to take care of certain factors which may lead to better health. Okay. So, organizations are sponsoring these kind of health promotion activities and making you aware, and then they also tell you that okay, how you are going to create better health for yourself, so that you are going to be better, right. So, if you look at this fitness and wellness program that is offered by the organization, it could be at the 3 levels. Okay. So, at the first level basically you educate them, no intervention. It means that you make them aware about the problem that they have, right. For example, suppose a person is obese, so you can tell him, see, if you are going to be obese, then it may lead to certain problems at a later stage, it is going to affect your performance physically and mentally, okay. And then the person becomes aware about the problem without having any kind of intervention, right. I suppose a person is smoking, so you are going to educate him, see, if you smoke, then you know that what happens as a result of smoking. Okay. You may have lung cancer, you may say part of your bodies may be affected, okay, and you may die even also. So, these kind of educational programs are basically campaigns are organized by the organizations to promote good health among the people. The idea is here is not to go for some kind of say mechanism once the problem happens and then you take care of that. All these programs are basically preventive in nature, so that these kind of problems does not happen. So, you become aware about it, okay, and that is a more positive approach to health and wellness. At the second level, what happens? So, if you are obese, you go for supervised exercise, you go to fitness centers, it means that you plan some kind of intervention for the people, okay, so that he is able to keep fit himself. For example, you know that most of the organizations today, if you go to good organizations, you will find that they have their own gym, fitness centers and these kind of things, where you can go and do exercise. Okay. So, the idea is to provide these resources to keep you fit, and if you are fit, then probably you will be able to perform well, right. So, second level these kind of things are done. At the third level, okay, you have institutionalized wellness. What does it mean? It means institution has developed systems and supports facilities to create wellness among the people, right. So, there are 3 levels of fitness and wellness programs that could be offered to the people at different levels. Now, at the first level you go for campaigning, second level you try to help also yourself by looking into certain activities which is going to provide you good health, and third level basically organizations are going to provide you a kind of support system to create better health to the people. Now, after this we will discuss some of the issues related to worksite wellness. What does it mean? There are a number of dimensions. It is not an exhaustive list, but it provides you a good coverage of different activities. Okay. The first is you have to have a constructive wellness policy. You make sure that people in organizations are fit all the time, right, and for that you need to create a policy, right. You know the police department, you know that they have a wellness policy, that if you are physically, if you are not fit through certain tests, then you may lose your job. So, you always need to remain fit, so that you can perform your job effectively. Okay. So, the idea is to create a constructive policy for the people, so that they are going to work effectively, right. Then at the next level you go for screening, that who are having certain problems, wellness screening. Okay. It could be related to the physical ailments as well as mental ailment both. So, that you are able to identify those people who have these kind of problems, okay, whether they have physical problems, whether it is related to substance abuse or alcohol or other minor problems, right, whatever it is, smoking or say what we said, that obesity or overeating, all kind of problems, or still sleeplessness, whatever problem is there. So, you need to go for some kind of screening mechanism which we should have in the organization with the institutional support, so that you are able to screen out those people who are having these kind of problems. Then you also make use of community resources, the hospitals, health workers, okay, community psychologists, counselors. Okay. So, they are going to, they are basically they are the resource for getting all kind of information. So, you need to work out with these resources when it comes to identification of people or screening out, or even when you want to develop a policy, they could be a good source of information in terms of developing good policy for the organization related to wellness. Then employee referrals to professionals. So, if you find that after screening out some persons are having certain issues related to this, then you can ask them to go to see a counselor or psychiatrist depending upon the requirement, because if it is not done, then people are not going to be cured. So, it is very, very important to have a policy of referrals to professionals. For example, in our system some people is having a problem, so doctors may refer them to psychiatrists where they can go and seek help from them, or some students have certain problems, they could be referred to the counseling center where they can go and seek help. The only problem is that they need to be educated, and then you should be able to identify if the person is having a problem, right. Or you have a general policy and you tell them that these are the issues which may come up. So, you become aware and take certain preventive measures, okay, to take care of these things. Then you have to go for a menu approach. Menu approach means that you decide, okay, these are the things that need to be taken care for you to improve your health. Okay, you create a general guideline and you say that you need to follow these things in order to have a good health, right. So, that is what we know as menu approach. So, menu approach, it could be different for different kind of people depending upon their requirements, but the amount that you are going to spend on them is going to be fixed, right. Then you have outreach and follow up counselings. Okay. Outreach means that you can go out, find out people who can help you, okay, and then you see that these kind of things are monitored and followed up unless the people are cured or taken care and they are able to achieve good health. Okay. And you can organize plant wide wellness events, like you go for meditation camps, yoga camps, okay, or even summer stress management interventions. You suppose you conduct a relaxation exercise, right, or normal exercise. So, these kind of exercise say events basically promote good health at the workplace, and as a part of the counseling process you can take it up. So, that it is not that you are going to help a person to cure his disease, but the idea is to ensure that person does not catch up with these kind of problems at a later stage, right. So, the idea is to ensure that people maintain good health. Okay. So, it is not preventive in nature, right. Then you also have systems and processes at the workplace, okay, and then you also regularly evaluate this wellness programs and processes, that how effective they have been to ensure to keep people fit and healthy. And then you go for cost benefit analysis of this program, and that you have to do with all kind of programs, any kind of HRD intervention that you plan, because in that way you will be able to justify the cost, that okay, if you are spending this much money, it is resulting in these kind of profits. So, people are happy and satisfied with the policies and programs of the organizations, and they would be able to contribute better, and that is the idea actually. So, what are the various interventions that could be planned, like exercise and fitness interventions? So, most popular, most of the organizations go for these kind of things, like going for meditation, yoga exercises, right, because it helps you to prevent certain diseases. So, that is why I was telling that it is more preventive mechanism instead of the first one where you try to identify you have a problem and then you try to find out the reason, right. So, you have to ensure that most of the people are going to benefit from these kind of exercises if it is sponsored by the organization, and individually on whole you can go for these kind of things. Another major problem that people face or organizations face in the organization is related to smoking. So, how do you go about it? Okay. You know that if you look at packets of these cigarettes, you will find that it is written that it is injurious to health. Okay. If you smoke, it is going to affect your health, but still people smoke. And you know that a lot of media advertisements you can find out which regularly publicize health risks, that you can have one cancer, you can die, all kind of problems may be there. Okay. So, these kind of risks are advertised to make people aware, so that people do not smoke. And sometimes you have passive smokers, no? Because even if you are not smoking, if you are inhaling the smoke, probably you are going to be affected by it. So, you have to see that how you are going to look into these kind of problems, because you know the cost per smoking per employee is going than non-smokers. Okay, it is more than non-smokers. So, you have to make a difference that if you are going to smoke, how it is going to affect your health and even the health costs, right. So, you also need to see that whether your smoking programs has really helped to see that people leave or not, okay, and how many people who join these kind of programs are actually smokers, so that they could be non-smokers, right. And similarly, you know that many organizations who have places specifically designated for smokers, so that you can go smoke, so that you, though you may be affecting your health, but you are not going to affect the health of others. So, most organizations have been able to go for designated places, a room specifically meant for smokers, where you can go and smoke. But it is not a part of the smoking program. It is basically a preventive mechanism to ensure that this smoke is not going to affect the health of other people, right. But at the same time, if you have this kind of smoking cessation program, that is good. Then another thing which is important, like nutrition and weight control, especially this is related to obesity, right. So, you will find that 30% or more people are overweight compared to what their weight should be, and you know that this is calculated through this body mass index BMI. So, if you look at BMI and there are certain ranges, if you cross that range in the BMI, probably you are treated as overweight, and it depends upon your height and body structure also. And in that criteria, you will find that most of the Americans are obese. Even Indian population is also moving toward that, because of the style, the eating habits and these kind of things. This is happening. So, this need to be looked into, so that because it is going to affect your health. And you know that because of this obesity, it leads to a lot of problems, sugar, cholesterol, blood pressure, all kind of things might happen. Okay. So, you need to control these kind of things, and especially you need to control your weight, and also look at your diets and other kind of things. Okay. So, you can organize some kind of competitive programs to see that those who are going to be under control have an ideal weight, they should be rewarded, or they are going to be recognized compared to those who are obese. And if obese people are able to control these things, then they should also be appreciated and given some kind of say things, so that it encourages others to come out of these kind of things. Then hypertension, what you call the high blood pressure, this is a major cause in the people, and this could be different reasons. This is basically related to the stress. You know that if it is greater than 140/90, ideally it is in our context it is 120/80, but normally it is considered that if you have a higher blood pressure that is above 140/90, then you are a case of hypertension, right. And if you are hypertension, then you take certain medicines, and there could be lot of problems. You know that the incidence rates of heart problems or brain stroke is higher in people with high hypertensions, right. And this could be related to the stress also. If you have a high level of stress, you have more high blood pressure, and this may lead to brain strokes, heart problems, right. So, the idea is that you need to control it through exercises, weight loss, medications also, and other stress reduction techniques. You go for low salt diets, you follow prescriptions of the medicine, you also go for exercise, so that you are able to control these kind of things and lead a normal life. Otherwise, it is going to affect your performance and your other kind of things. So, you know that this may cause organizations are spending a lot of money on this kind of things, because you are going to sponsor medical treatment. Then there are a lot of issues related to employee counseling. Okay. When we are talking about employee counseling, what are the issues? That you have to ensure the effectiveness of the program, and when you are going to ensure the effectiveness of the program, you need to adopt the same criteria that we have been adopting for other HRD interventions. You remember we talked about certain models, and especially we talked about two different models, Kirkpatrick model and ROI model. Okay. So, you are going to use the same model to measure the effectiveness of any counseling program, whether it is related to assistance, whether it is related to any other kind of program, preventing mechanism, or even stress management, right. So, for all kind of programs, you have to measure its effectiveness in concrete terms, in order to ensure that these kind of programs are really helping people, and it is a kind of cost saving for the organization. Okay. So, when you are using this Kirkpatrick model, you are measuring the reactions, that whether people like this kind of program, what they have learned this program, right, and whether there is a change in the behavior. Suppose you attend a smoking cessation program, okay, and you are dealt with all kind of problems that might happen, but you do not change your attitude and behavior even after attending the program, and being realize that this may cause a problem. It means then the program is not effective. Suppose you are going to sponsor a camp for meditation or exercise, okay, for those who have certain problems, but people do not turn up. So, what will happen? You are not going to realize the benefits. So, it is very important to measure the effectiveness of the program at different levels, whether they change in the behavior and the performance at later stage, whether people like it and how it is going to affect them, what they have learned in the program, like any other HRD intervention, and that is where you have to say that how we are going to measure the effectiveness of the program at the first stage. And the second stage, when you are going for a quantitative measure, you need to ensure and use this ROI model, including cost and benefit both, to ensure whether the cost that you are going to spend or incur on any kind of intervention, counseling intervention, exceeds the benefit or not. Okay. If the benefits exceeds and cost is less, then you should go for this kind of program, and probably that would help you to get better support commitment from the top management, because if it is not coming, then you may not get the kind of support that is required by the management, and probably you will lose your credibility as a HRD professional to organize these kind of programs in the future. Because if the management finds that it is not benefiting the people and there is no change in the behavior and the performance, then why should we offer these kind of programs, right. And so, you have to measure effectiveness at all levels, starting with analyzing the problems, identifying the people, kind of interventions that you have planned, and then moving to the next level, that is delivering the programs or the process, and then finally looking into the evaluation in terms of cost benefit as well. So, when we are talking about effectiveness of the program, that is one issue. Another important issue is the legal issues. Okay. Since counseling involves certain issues that is to be discussed between the counselor and the person who is to be counseled. Okay. You have to ensure that the issues related to privacy and confidentiality is maintained, and you are not going to leak out this information, divulge this to any person. Okay. Otherwise, there could be illegal things. And similarly, when it comes to mental health and other kind of things, you need to work under a legal framework to make sure that you maintain all the documents and records. You are following all the legal frameworks as per the laid down by the Mental Health Care Act, okay, so that you are not going to face any charges, or the person, suppose you are going for a stress management intervention, okay, and you counsel them, but counsel has a different kind of impact on the individual. So, he might charge you that even after going through this process, you have not been able to help him out. The situation has further worsened, then this could be a legal issue also, apart from the technical issue. So, that need to be looked into, and that is very, very important. And then who is responsible for counseling? Who takes the responsibility? So, there could be a number of stakeholders who are responsible, starting with the individual who is being counseled, the HRD department, the line managers and top managers. So, everybody is equally responsible, because all of them are stakeholders in the process, but mostly the responsibility lies with the person who is being counseled, because he is being trained and he has to change his behavior as per the action plan developed by the counselor, right. And there could be ethical issues. Okay. That is what we are going to discuss one by one very briefly. And then you also need to look into some of the negative outcomes of these kind of things. Suppose you offer a stress management program, it does not help, or if counseling is not affecting the individual, okay, or it has worsened the situations. So, there could be a possibility. So, these are some of the issues that need to be looked into. So, when it comes to the first part, when you are going to look into the effectiveness of the counseling, you look into the demographics, the characteristics of the people that you have, what is the rate of the participation, okay, how many people have started this to start with, and what is the startup and the maintain cost of a program, okay, what kind of test you have implemented, you have to have a tracking system to follow it up, right. And then pre and post you need to measure the effect, right, analyze results for both the users and non users, in what way it is affecting them, okay. And then you have to go for a future cost benefit analysis of these programs, provided you are going to offer these kind of programs in the future, because if you are not going for these kind of things, it is not going to be helpful. So, you need to measure counseling using certain parameters that is given here. When it comes to legal issues, it is very, very important, because if you look at legal issues, you are using these counseling programs to comply with legislations, okay, and you need to ensure that you follow all the legislations, okay, that is there. Otherwise, there is a possibility of liability of lawsuits, okay. and you make sure that it is available to everybody, okay, and you do not go for erroneous statements. Sometimes what happens as assessments, sometimes you are going for diagnosis to individual and you are at fault as a counselor, and he has some other problem, but you have identified some other problem. Okay. And this happens in many cases, especially when it comes to mental health issues, and especially in case of severe mental health issues. It has been found that doctors have not been able to identify correctly the problem of the individual. Okay. He might be having a compulsive disorders, but you have identified something different, right. He might be schizophrenic, but you have identified in a different way. So, especially not in the say normal mental health disorders like anxiety, stress and these kind of things, which are very common, especially when it comes to severe mental health orders like phobia, compulsion, compulsive behaviors, schizophrenia. Assessments may go wrong, and if your assessment may go wrong, the entire treatment other things is going to be wrong, and that would create liability of the lawsuits, okay, because person may claim that you have gone for wrong assessment or given wrong medicines for that. So, these kind of things need to be avoided. So, you need to follow the process properly to identify the problem and its solution, okay. And make sure that people who are attending these kind of programs, wellness programs or fitness programs, do not damage themselves physically or otherwise also, because suppose you, and that is why you say that when you are going to go for exercise and medication, you should not be suffering from certain issues, certain problems, because if you are suffering from say asthma, these kind of things, then you should not go for certain yogic exercises, because it is not going to help you. So, you need to make things very clear when it comes to identifying these kind of programs and in what way people should go for it. So, that it is going to be beneficial to them. Then who is going to be responsible for employee counseling? Third issue, HRD professionals definitely. Supervisors, yes, they are part of the process, because they have been engaged in identifying unions. They need to provide all the support that is required. Management, yes, they need to provide all the support and commitment, including resources. So, they are all stakeholders. Individual, the most responsible person, because ultimately he is going to be changed, right. So, all of them have to be equally responsible, but some of them are going to be more responsible, especially HRD professionals, supervisors and the individual, because others are a part of the support system, but since they are directly engaged with the individual. So, they are going to be more responsible for these kind of activities, right. That is what I think. Now, if you look at the counseling and performance, you know that workplace counseling actually try to help to create awareness about the problems that you might face. So, that you have knowledge about different kind of problems that may occur and how to deal with that, and it is also related to safety at the workplace and taking certain preventive measures, okay. And it also helps in reduced health care costs and absenteeism and improve productivity. So, these are the outcomes of the workplace counseling, and that is why you should go for it and do some kind of analysis to find out how it is helping the people. And ultimately, we have ethical issues. Ethical issues are very important, because maintaining confidentiality is important. Records should be held in strict confidence, it should not be divulged and keep separate from the employee's regular personal file, because personal file can be accessed by the HR department, right, and it should be only with the counselors. Okay. And it is required, if you want to release certain information, you must get the consent of the employees before releasing this information, and you are going to release this information only when it is required for taking certain activities or interventions or planning certain interventions, otherwise you should not take it up. Then what is the nature of the participation? Okay. If you have forced everybody to go for it, then it is not good. So, make it sure that it is voluntary, so that they on their own they participate in the process and try to find out what are the negative outcomes that could be there. Okay. The cost may go up, the compensation cost for the organizations. There could be scheduling problems, fatigue, lower performance, because they engage in other kind of activities. Similarly, there could be conflict of work. If you ban smoking, they would not like it, because they have to go out and smoke. So, they may not feel good. And finally, we want to conclude this session by saying that yes, definitely well-being affects the ability of the people, availability of the various resources and readiness to perform a job effectively, and that is why it is the responsibility of the organization and the HRD professionals to take care of these activities very well. And it encompasses a lot of areas, starting with assistance program and all kind of things that we have discussed today, starting with stress management, okay, looking at the alcohol, substance abuse, okay, and all kind of interventions that need to be planned. So, all kind of things can be done so far as counseling is concerned, okay. And ultimately of course, it is an HRD function, because it is the responsibility of the HRD to ensure that people are effective, they contribute to the growth and development of the organization, okay, not only today, but also in the future. And then you have to see that HRD professionals have to see that yes, they need to have competent people, okay, and they should be aware, they should be made aware, so that they can issues with these kind of topics when it comes to them, and they are able to cope up with the challenges of these kind of problems, and that is how counseling is going to be a very effective process. Thank you very much.